Welcome everyone, this is Jennifer McGuire. I hope you're having a good week. Today I thought I would share a few tips for using a Misti stamping tool. If you've watched my videos lately, you'll see I made some changes or additions to my Misti tool that have been really helpful, and I thought I'd go ahead and do a video explaining them since I'm getting a lot of questions. Now, this video will not really go into how to use the Misti stamping tool. If you've never seen it in action, I encourage you to check out the playlist that I share here to see the many ways you can use this great tool. This video is really going to just focus on some things that I found are helpful when using the Misti tool, and it works with any size Misti tool. Okay, the first thing I wanted to talk about is magnets. Now, normally people use two small round magnets when using a Misti stamping tool. I have recently switched to a bar magnet. The reason I did this is then I only had to deal with one magnet, and this bar magnet is so strong that it will hold pretty much any paper in place as I do my stamping, and I don't have to worry about it shifting. Now, what I do with my bar magnet is I take two pieces of washi tape and layer them on top of each other, so it's just an extra thickness, and I wrap it around the bar magnet to create a little handle that I can pick it up with. Now, you can store your bar magnet in your Misti, or what I actually do is I have it stuck to the inside of my IKEA drawer. There's a metal rail inside the drawer, so it just kind of sticks there on the side, and I don't have to worry about losing it. And I do want to say that this is a large and very strong magnet, so that's something that you want to consider. I found that I only need one to use in the Misti tool, and it holds my paper nicely every time. Now, I will link to a source for these bar magnets. A lot of people have been emailing me about that, so be sure to check out my links below, or you can head over to my blog. Okay, so now that we have covered the magnets, I wanted to talk about the laminated sheets that I've been using in my Misti lately. I showed this briefly in a video and I got a ton of questions, so I thought I'd show it in detail here. Now, when you get a Misti, there are some papers that you can use in it and replace these when they get messy. What I decided to do was take a few of these sheets and laminate them so that I could reuse them many times and just wipe them clean. So I took a sheet and I put it in a 5mm laminating pouch. I'll link to the laminating pouches that I use. They're nice and thick. I use these for other things in my craft room, and I'll be showing that soon in a video also. So you just put the paper inside of the laminating pouch. Then you run it through any laminator. This is just an inexpensive laminator that I had for some things that I do for my son's school. And I put it on the 5mm setting so that it's sure to laminate this thick laminating pouch that I have here. And I just run it through. You could use any laminator for this. You can also, I believe, take it to like a Kinko's or an office supply store, and they can laminate for you if you want to. Or if you have the Mink foiling machine from Heidi Swapp, you could use that for your laminating also. So all I do is I run it through here, and then I trim off the excess. So now I can wipe this clean of inks. Now, some inks, of course, will stain this, and they will get messy over time, but I love that I can just wipe the extra ink off, and it kind of holds up for many projects. Now, this extra plastic or laminate that I'm cutting off, I'm going to save, and I'm going to show you something you can do with that in a moment. You could even use it on shaker windows on cards if you want to. Now, I would recommend going ahead and laminating a few sheets at once so you have a few on hand in case one gets too messy over time. So when I'm stamping, I have this laminate sheet in here, and then I can just wipe off any ink that comes onto it with a dry cloth. This has really helped me to waste less and just reuse my pieces over and over again. This leads me to another tip. If you are kind of crazy like me and you make a lot of cards and you want to stamp your personalized stamp on the back bottom of the cards, but have a hard time stamping it straight with your wood-mounted personalized stamp, this is the trick I do. I use my Misti. So I get my personalized red rubber wood-mounted stamps made by Bossy Jossie. It's an online place. You can get any message made that you want. I have a few personalized ones. You can see it on the right there. That's how it comes. What I do is I remove that rubber from the stamp. There are many ways to do this. You can do a Google search on how to unmount a stamp. I honestly just pulled it right off. And now I can use it in my Misti. So what I did a while back is I created a guide to make sure that every time I stamp on the back of the card, I get it perfectly straight and centered. I'm going to show you how to make a guide. Just take a piece of cardstock at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's the size that most of my stamped cards are. I'm going to put it towards the bottom center of a piece of the My Sweet Petunia Misti stamping paper, this little grid paper, and I'm going to trace it. You could put it up against the edge if you want to. You could put it anywhere on here, but I'm just putting it along that bottom edge, and I'm just going to trace around it with a black pen. Again, this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece that I'm tracing. Now I have a traced area where anytime I make a horizontal card, I put it right there and I know I'll get it centered straight every time. Just stick with me if it's not making sense yet. Now I'm going to do the same thing but trace vertically. So if I make a vertical card that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, I can just put it right here and make sure that it's centered every time. So there we have it, a little guide that I can use over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and of course laminate this because I'm going to use this sucker for many, many months to come. So I just put it into a laminating pouch and run it through my laminator, just like I showed you earlier. You can totally skip the laminating here if you want to. I went ahead and trimmed off the extra laminate, and you can see it fits nicely into my Misti. Now, we need to do something to mount that little personalized stamp onto our Misti. I personally just stick it in my Misti, and I have a Misti just for this purpose. But if you wanted to be able to remove your personalized stamp, this is what you can do. Just center it right where you would want it to stamp on the center back of your cards. So I'm centering it there on the bottom. I'm going to take a piece of that extra laminate that we had from before, and it's cut to the width of my window or my door on my Misti, putting it right on the edge and closing it. So now that little stamp is transferred onto that piece of laminate. Now I can keep it there all the time. Whenever I want to stamp on the back of the card, all I have to do is tape this onto my Misti door. Now again, I have an extra Misti because I make so many cards for my job. I have an extra Misti where I have mounted this personalized stamp right into the Misti, and I can just grab it and follow the guides on my laminate sheet and go. But if you don't want to do that, you can just tape this plastic sheet inside your Misti and stamp with it. You could also look into ways of making a stamp into a cling stamp and do that too. Okay, so let me show you an example. Here's a card that I need to stamp somebody's name on the front, and I want to personalize the back. So I'm lining it up with my guide. This is a vertical card. Put my magnet down, it'll hold it in place. I have my little piece of plastic taped onto the door with my stamp on it. Now I just close it as I would anytime I do Misti stamping, and there it is, centered right in the bottom. So now I have my personalized stamp perfectly centered. I can do several cards at once if I wanted to, and it would save a lot of time. Now say you have a horizontal card. I just follow the other guidelines. I lay it right into the guidelines and go ahead and stamp with it, and it'll stamp straight and in the center every time. You can keep your little personalized stamp stuck to that plastic, and every time you tape it in, it'll be centered. Now, I know I lost a lot of you on this, and you think I'm crazy, but I do know that many of you like to stamp perfectly on the back of your cards too, so I'm hoping this trick is helpful. And remember, all the tips I showed you today, you kind of do these things once, and then they're ready for doing lots of stamping in the future with your Misti. So there are some tips for you. I did want to mention one more thing before we go. A lot of people are emailing me and asking if I'm going to do reviews of any of the other stamping tools out there. I really don't like to do reviews of products unless it's something that I have fallen in love with, because that's just how I work. I don't want to say anything negative about any products. And I simply am very happy with the Misti stamping tool and how it has really changed my stamping life. It's an original tool, and I am very happy with it. And of the stamping tools that I have tried to date, this is definitely the one that's best for me. So I just wanted to share that. I hope that makes a little bit of sense and that these tips were helpful to you. If you are interested in learning more about the Misti, check out the videos there in the center. If you want to find any of the products I talk about, click the links below in my YouTube description, or you can go to my blog for much more. Thanks for watching. I hope you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you soon.